Welcome, welcome, and thank you. We're getting ready for episode number 5 of Every Lesson Counts. Before we go, I want to preempt you on this particular episode. There were some technical issues at the end of this episode, and so you'll only see me at the end of the episode. We could have reshot it again, but it was very difficult for me to catch up with this guy, Aaron Jackson, because he is a good friend of mine, but he's also extremely busy. So I'm going to run it as it was cut with some of the edits and hope that you enjoy it and the powerful message that it gives, anyways. And without any further ado, episode 5. I realized something that stayed with me. Every role teaches something. Every interaction leaves a lesson. So I created Every Lesson Counts because too many voices in education go unheard. All right, and welcome everyone. Welcome back to Every Lesson Counts. This week we have made a very special trip because we are in the home of a very good friend of mine and an excellent leader in the Broward County Schools. Please help me to welcome a very good friend and head facility service person for McNichols Middle School in Broward County, Mr. Aaron Jackson. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
So, leadership looks powerful from outside, but it can be deeply lonely on the inside. You often make decisions alone, you protect others from pressure, and you navigate personal responsibilities. So, that's our topic for today, um, navigating the loneliness of leadership. And not to put a negative end on it, but just to recognize that when you're a leader, there are decisions you make, and sometimes they're made in isolation. So we want to talk about how we deal with those things. So before we get into that, though, brother, I want to ask you, Aaron, if you would, to share with everybody, share with us what brought you into education. What was your journey that got you to where you are now?
Well, I did not come into education thinking that I was going to be in this particular field. Basically, when I got with the school board, I was more thinking of being a teacher or being a counselor, but that was my first thought. But it was the easiest way to get into the system at the time. And so I took that approach. I took that approach as far as getting into this profession and then looking to move from this profession into what I originally wanted to make an effort to do.
And what was it that made you make that move? How did you know it was time to make that move?
Well, at the time, I I have my family, and I wanted to grow. I really wanted to grow. I wanted to uh, expand myself, because I've always been a person that is looking to grow, and that was important to me. So in the field that I was in, I got to the point where it was the same thing, kind of monotonous every day, and I needed something different because the way I'm wired, I like certain challenges when it comes to work. So that was basically the mindset. That was basically the mindset.
And you've come up through the ranks. I mean, you came into the school board, and when I met you, I know that you were serving as a facility service person, and I know you moved into an assistant head position and then a head facility service position. But then you also hold roles on a district level as well. What are some of those roles, and how did you move into those?
Well, again, looking to be impactful because that's one of the things that I thrive on. Is being impactful because in my profession, you deal with people. You deal with people all the time. Different people from different walks of life, I mean, just different people. You would be surprised the people that you deal with in my position on a daily basis, on the campus and off the campus. So what I wanted to do was that I wanted to basically get myself in a position where I could make some changes in a different way. And so I decided to apply for being a facilities trainer. And that opportunity came and it opened up in 2019. And basically, I been doing that along with my other responsibilities as far as training and teaching the classes that are mandatory for us to keep our job.
That's pretty powerful. So you, in effect, more so than touching staff and students at one site, you basically you had an impact on staff and students at sites all across the county because everyone's come through your training classes.
Exactly, exactly. And you'd be surprised that the people that I've been fortunate to meet and to help, because for me, learning can take place. No one knows everything, and everyone basically can learn from someone else. It doesn't matter what walk of life that you come from, doesn't matter what you've done or where you've been, or what position you hold. My belief is that everyone can learn something from someone. And so that was my main focus uh, when I started my classes. I had the opportunity to start the classes was to one of the things I did with my students was to let them know that and I did do this with my staff. I let my staff know that I'm here. I'm not here in word, but I'm also here in deed and in action as well. And so made an effort in my classes to lay that foundation down to let my other colleagues know that, listen, I do understand. It's interesting the threads that come up in a training class, especially when everyone's doing the same profession. But I let them know that I care. I believe that was the main thing that has come from me having the opportunity to help others grow in our profession is that they know I care because I have kept in contact with many of them. They've kept in contact with me. I've helped them throughout the process. Many have grown and many have become assistants. Many have become heads that have come through my classes. And so it's been very rewarding to see that all of the effort and the things that I make the effort to do when I'm in that position to impact people that they're moving forward as well.
And that's an awesome part that you're speaking to because it's been an intentional impact that you worked to have, and not something that just kind of happened by the way. So let's talk about that when we talk about decision makings. And I guess the topic of today, the question: what are some of the coping strategies that you've developed in order to deal with that isolationism? I mean, you make decisions sometimes, and you're the one that has to make them for the team or for the department, and you end up having to sit in those. And sometimes you're not the most favorite person when you make those decisions. So the principal may not look at you the same way, even though you know that's the right call to make. How have you coped? What have you done to help cope with that, or to know to deal with that? So I'm sure you've gone through a lot.
One of the things that I make an effort to do is realize my role, first of all. What's my role? No matter what comes up, no matter what decisions are about to be made, what's my role? And at the same time, I've learned to be very flexible in understanding that I'm not in control of a lot of decisions. I'm not in control. I'm not. I'm not. Even though I'm in a leadership role, but at the same time, there are decisions that are made, honestly, that I'm not in control of. So what am I in control of? What am I in control of? That's the next thing. I look at what's my role and what am I in control of. Then when a decision is made, then I look at solutions. I look at what can I do? Even though I may not agree, I may not be one that's looking at it and saying, we could go this way or do it this way or go that way, but you know what? They've decided to go this way. So in my decision making and in my thought process is let's be flexible because my experience has been in my profession is a lot of times you need to do things. I call that PC, professional courtesy. Even though it's not in the job description, right, even though it's not in your contract, even though you're not supposed to do it, but professional courtesy has taken me a long way. And that has been a key to no matter what decision is made, no matter what my role may be, I understand that it's only a moment. It's not my life. And professional courtesy takes you a long ways because it also builds morale as well. It builds morale. One of the things that I really realized with my team, and I've got a beautiful set of people that I have had the opportunity to work with, is morale, keeping the morale. Because when a team starts losing morale, a lot of things suffer. A lot of things suffer. So what I've learned to do is be that buffer,
Right.
be the buffer. Um, because when my team sees that, you know what, I'm going to be the buffer with this, I'm in a role that I'm a leader. And sometimes being a leader, you have to sacrifice yourself in many, many ways. And over the years and being in my profession, sometimes that's the silent killer, the
Right.
sacrifices that you have to make, not only personally with your home and your wife, and your family, but just the sacrifice of the simple thing of it could have been done differently. It didn't have to go this way. But at the same time, again, back to my original statement, you have to understand what your role is, what you're in control of, and being very flexible and understanding that it's only a moment in time and it's not your entire life.
So when you're going through that moment in time, it's a powerful thing that you're at that leadership level and you recognize that and you see that. But knowing that those don't just happen in isolation, that those events, those issues or incidents like that can occur once a week or once every couple of months. How do you deal with that? I mean, some people run, some people work out with weights, some people they do yoga. What is it that you do as a coping mechanism to deal with that, which I know frustration can still build up. How do you deal with that?
Honestly, I'm one that my faith has taken me a long way, my faith. And the other thing is my wife. She she has been such a pivotal person in my life through the ups, through the downs. I remember her, for the first 5 years, I used to come home, 6 years or whatever, come home within work. And she often reminded me, Aaron, you're not at work.
Mm,
You're not at work. You're at home. But she's been whatever impact that I've made in my profession, it's not been without her making sacrifices. But back to your original question, it's basically my faith. Really,
mm.
it's my faith in Jesus Christ. It really is, and I'm not sugarcoating it. It
Right,
really, really
right.
is.
That's
It is my faith in Christ because, sure, I mean, I was an athlete in high school. I ran track. I ran cross country. Uh, I like sports. I'll play basketball. I'll play football. Not now. I'm too young to do that. But anyway, but it's been just that knowing that I have a home to come to, and my home
mhm,
is is my haven. It's my haven. So with that, number one, my faith. Number two, it comes along with having my home that's solid.
got it, got it. That's powerful. I'm glad you have that, and I think that's a lesson for a lot of people because you're right. The physical, the things that you can do over time, our bodies will only allow us to do some of those things for a certain
Exactly.
period of time. So we've got to be able to lay that burden somewhere else on a much higher level. What's one when you think about all the things you've seen, all the things you've experienced, all the events that have occurred? What's a lesson that you've learned? It may be a story or an event that happened, but what's something that taught you a lesson that has stayed with you that really you think really counts and people, it leads to something you want to share that everybody needs to be aware of.
Well, when people look at my profession, there's a certain mentality that comes with, oh, you're a janitor,
Mm,
or you're a custodian,
mm,
or you carry a mop, and
mm,
you got a broom, and you pick up this and you clean this and you clean that. But one of the greatest things that you can do in my profession is understand that what you do is not who you are. And one of the other things that I found out in my classes in teaching my trainings is that sure, we taught by the book, but a lot of times it was allowing people to talk and to speak and to have a voice. and to let them know that they are really, really, really valuable, and it's just not words.
Mm.
So one of the things that has come from this is just understanding that, yes, that's my profession, but Aaron Jackson is more than what you see him doing.
Absolutely.
He's more than what you see him doing. And that comes from within. And so when I taught my classes, that was one of my havens to express to my students was, listen, yes, that's what you do, but you have to understand that you have so much value inside of you. It's inside of you. It's you. How do you look at you? You don't ever let someone else determine what person you are, what type of person you are. Don't do that. You have to value you first. You have to. You have to look at yourself with the utmost value and realize that there is greatness in you.
Mm.
There's things that you can accomplish that may have been said that you couldn't accomplish. You can change your situation. You can change your circumstances. And so that's understanding the value of me. I don't allow anyone else to determine what value I have. Listen, people will tell you certain things, and that's fine. And then you take it in, you take it.
Right.
But at the same time, if you don't believe that you're valuable and that you're precious and that you're a winner and that you can overcome, if you don't believe it, then there's that inner struggle that you have. No matter what you're doing outside, you can you can you can be uh, a real estate. You can be in any other profession that you want to be in, but if you have the wrong microscope on the way you look at yourself, then it reflects everything else that you do in life. And so for me, I've approached my profession as a business.
What do you
A
mean by
business.
that?
Well, I have clients, and the clients are my teachers.
Mhm.
The clients are my students. The clients is my community. The clients uh, are the staff, the front office. They're my clients. And so that's where I come and understand that a lot of things are done by PC, professional courtesy. Because when that's done and my service is complete, then things move a lot more smoother that I found out. I mean, I do things that even when the maintenance guys comes, I've learned from them, learn little things from them. Why? Because it's important that I keep learning. It's important that I keep learning and don't get stagnant in my profession because then that transcends to my team.
Right.
So I've learned to learn little things from AC guys, learn little things from electricians, learn little things from the plumbers. And so what happens is that I don't always call or have someone come and do this or do that. If I can do it, I go ahead and I do it because why? Number one, it saves time. Number two, it keeps the ship rolling. Number three, things go a lot more smoother and people are a lot more can concentrate on what they're there to do instead of being concerned about other things.
And I think that really speaks to also your leadership and being able to see the bigger picture and realizing that if you can take on and do some of those things that that's not a big deal, but it speeds up the process of keeping the ship moving. And now those other leaders in the school know, hey, Mr. Jackson's got it under control. We're good to go. We won't have to stop and wait for someone to come and fix this because he can handle that much of it. So yeah, outstanding.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's the gist of it. And so if I may, I'm coming to the end of my tenure. I have been blessed to serve at McNichol for the last 13 years in this position that I have, the leadership position. And I'm looking forward to the next chapter of where I can make an impact with people. Because one of the things that I've understood about my job is you can know your job very well. You can know it ins and outs. You can be on the top. You can fix this, do that, whatever, whatever. But if you don't know how to handle people, you do not know how to handle people. Right? What's your skills and what you know and all this other stuff is not worth a hill of beans because the bottom line is it's back to how you treat people. And I'm gonna leave you with this. My mom has Bless her soul, she's still here. She told me when I was young, she said, boy, treat people the way you want to be treated. My mom has no education. She didn't go to school. She's a country girl, but she's still here. But that life lesson has taught me and has kept me with food on my table, clothes on my back, always having something to do. Never with any other situations in my life, with the law or anything. So that's something that's stuck with me. Treat people the way you want to be treated, and I found out that's the key to my profession as well.
Mhm. And I think that's a great way to wrap this up, because I think that also speaks to when we say leadership in general, and the fact that there could be some things that put you in isolation because of the decisions you make. Always remembering that at the end of the day, treating people the way you want to be treated. That's that part of that golden rule that we all want leaders to understand, that we've got to be the example in living that, and not telling somebody what to do, but showing them what to do. So, well said. Well, we want to take this time to thank you so much for being on the show this week, Brother Jackson. It's been a pleasure having you on. We hope that we may be able to bring you back at another time later in the future. But your impact, I just want you to know your impact is certainly felt. It is needed. And I hope that those that are out there watching this, that you take the gems that were given today and use them to help you go where you want to go, not only in leadership, but in life. Because in life, every lesson counts. Thank you all. Have a great day.